Okay, where do I start? Well, first off, nobody drinks Bud Light at all. And if they ever did, they most certainly are not drinking it now. Dylan Mulvaney, who is this carefully crafted experiment of the left, who is known for really no other reason than just being a male to female transitioner, is by no mistake getting all of these endorsements and pushed out there to the public eye to be seen and be a face of these brands and companies. Because obviously, we know part of the left's agenda is to move in a whole nother direction other than the nuclear family and the white male and the white female. And so now we have this new face, this new energy, this new cool, shiny toy that is being pushed out there for everybody to accept. So what they do is they put this thing on a beer can. Dylan Mulvaney is precisely that, just a character. I believe that this person is kind of like what they would call in the music industry a plant. I believe Dylan Mulvaney is an absolute plant. Has been propped up to do this. I mean, the guy, or whatever you want to call it, literally was an actor, was in acting before all of this notoriety. So it's not going to be surprising or shocking to me that this is all a role being played. The bigger message is the fact that you see all of this transgender quote unquote representation everywhere. And obviously where it doesn't need to be. And number one is on beer cans. And so when we look at that fact and we look into what has happened to Bud Light in this short amount of time, they are literally down $5 billion. $5 billion is a lot of money. And it's a lot of money for a company that has sustained itself for quite some time. But it shows you that as soon as you go down this route as a business and as a company, you're losing the support of people because the majority of the people that are in this country do not support this ideology and this movement. Videos and clips that literally prove that Bud Light is having a lot of trouble, or the brand in itself in Anheuser-Busch is undergoing a lot of scrutiny due to this move.
I work for an affiliate company. I am a merchandiser, and the sole product of the company I work for is Anheuser-Busch products. So with all this canceling going on, I've never seen such little sales in this past few days on these products. And it's sad because when people don't buy this beer, I don't make money and I can't feed my family. So it's kind of heartbreaking, I guess, that Anheuser-Busch did what they did. They don't know their clientele. So it's kind of heartbreaking. Thanks, Anheuser-Busch. I may not be able to feed my family coming up here soon.
This is why it's important, I feel like, to just do your research on who some of these people are, what they believe in, and their ideologies, because I'm pretty sure nobody expected to have this just prop up out of nowhere and be an actual thing. But also, who's surprised? But unfortunately, things like this are happening to people who are involved in this business. But of doing a little bit of research, I found out that they sold actually that company off to new owners. And I can guarantee you those new owners have quite a bit of a connection along with all the people who own all of these other companies that people would say are quote unquote woke. And therefore, this is where we have our issues. A lot of American companies are no longer being ran by Americans with American values and American traditions. Therefore, we see them all collectively going down a drain of a new ideology that is being pushed. So allow me to go ahead and cue in the Vice President of Bud Light Marketing, Alyssa Heinersheet.
I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like, we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
But here's the thing, it's not your job to change the demographic of people that enjoy the product. That's not your job. Your job is to reach more, not alienate and destroy the current supporters that you have and what they love and believe. Anheuser-Busch / the new idiots who took that over, you lost over $5 billion of value within this company in probably like a week. What haven't these people got their hands on and destroyed? They've destroyed Marvel and comic book heroes, turning Superman's son gay and Joker's pregnant and so on and so forth with all of this mess and all this crap. But people aren't asking the real question, which is, where does this ideology come from? This is a collective effort to push this stuff that you're seeing. So while Dylan Mulvaney, of course, makes plenty of money by being this propped up character, we have a brand that was at some point beloved by people, completely destroyed so far. This is really symbolic to what is happening in America and what is happening to America. Everything that you're seeing is being destroyed from the inside out, and nobody's asking the real questions as to who's doing it and who's pushing this ideology. Who are the people that believe in this stuff? And don't say woke, because that does not put a face on it. But right now, the face that is being paraded around is Dylan Mulvaney. When you see these words and terminologies such as equity, inclusion, diversity, equality, that ideology is coming from a certain group of people, which this, I'm not surprised, Vice President Alyssa Heinerscheid is belonging to that group of people. If you're paying attention to what this Alyssa Heinerscheid is saying here, we've heard this all before.
It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly
inclusive.
Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
Kid Rock is a pretty accurate representation of most Americans, if not all true Americans right now, due to the fact that we can visibly see what is happening to America, its products, and this country. Now, I don't want to get into all the semantics and the numbers, but what I will say is that obviously Anheuser-Busch and the brand that is Bud Light, along with anything else that gets touched with this ideology, is going to go downhill. But the symbolic part of it is the fact that this was an American brand at one point.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Male Football Cheerleader.
Mr. Male Football Cheerleader.
Real men don't just play smash mouth football. Real men turn cartwheels and somersaults on the sidelines, tucked safely away from the action.
Don't touch me now.
Fourth down and inches. The game's on the line. It all comes down to you. Will you call for a perky pyramid or a peppy line dance?
Get on my shoulders.
Knock 'em back, all the way to Hackensack. So Grab an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Male Football Cheerleader. You may never score a touchdown, but you're peppy. That's gotta count for something.
That's gotta count for something.
Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!